Well, some say next to voting, it is the most important thing you can do in a democracy. But what do you really know about your election workers?
13 on your side's Angela Cunningham caught up with two right here in West Michigan, and she shows us why they're so determined to work at the polls no matter what.
I know, it's great.
Married for 17 years, Christian and Beth Bell are devoted to each other.
Yeah.
And for more than half of their marriage, they've been passionate and dedicated to another cause.
That's a service that we're able to provide right there.
The electoral process.
The poll workers are really an essential part of making this all work and making sure that the process runs smoothly.
Both have been longtime poll workers and are now chairpersons or supervisors at their respective precincts.
I mean, so he's more of a techie guy.
Poll working is a role, until recently, that often goes unnoticed unless there's a problem. But for the Bells, working the polls has been somewhat of a calling.
Being able to help people cast their vote, be assured that their vote is secure and safe and trustworthy, and to thank them for coming in to vote. That's why we do this.
It's been really encouraging. I've met some awesome people. People who sign up to be a poll worker really have the heart for doing this sort of service to their community.
The couple does not look like your stereotypical poll worker.
When we started, it used to be us and a lot of retirees.
And Beth and Christian have been pleased to see a more diverse group joining the ranks in the past few years.
I love seeing people my age getting involved.
Yes, I think it's very important for our voters to see themselves reflected in the poll workers, to have a sense that the people who are working with them to help them vote look like them, represent them.
Poll working is a commitment that involves a lot of training and very long hours on election day.
The hardest part of the job is just the duration of that day. It is an extremely long day, as Beth said. It is at least a 16-hour day, often longer.
And for 2020, go ahead and factor in a pandemic.
Quite honestly, going to work for the August election was nerve-wracking because we didn't know what to expect.
The Bells admit they had some doubts about how safe it would be to show up at the polls this year.
We're still both very cognizant of the fact that we are putting ourselves out there and that any person that walks into our precinct is a potential vector for infection.
But say those concerns were simply not enough to keep them from doing their civic duty.
Ultimately, I still feel that the electoral process is one of the most important things in our democracy, and that even in the midst of a pandemic, we have a commitment to honor that responsibility.
And of course, the important work that Beth, Christian, and so many others are able to do is thanks to the city clerk providing personal protection equipment and disinfectant, as well as implementing very necessary safety protocols.
And that is a relatively unsung civic duty that those folks take on, so we do appreciate them.
Yeah, they certainly do deserve our appreciation
Absolutely.
and our gratitude. Angela, thank you so much.